Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the William Penn School District Property Committee meeting on April 2nd, 2024. This evening, we have several things we're going to cover. We're going to take a look at Facility Master's Plan update regarding Penwood High School, the ninth grade academy, East Lansdowne Elementary, and then we're going to open the floor up for a discussion regarding a gym for Evans, because after all said and done, their gym usage may be questionable. All right, so I'm going to pass the ball over to Mr. Kaufman, who's going to get us going.
Great, thank you, Jan. So facilities master plan updates. So for Penwood High School, the design committee toured 2 newly constructed buildings and 1 renovation of STEM-focused high schools on March 20th, taking designs and concepts and ideas that we liked to include in our design for the new renovation and the new addition and the renovation at the Green Avenue campus high school. 3D scanning of buildings was completed over spring break. This will allow the architects to have, the most detailed drawings possible, which ideally will reduce change orders coming through in the future, because they should know where all the supports are and where all the wiring is and everything like that. Staff surveys will be going out by the end of the month, and we're still matching programmatic needs to the building to make sure that all needs are met. Zoning variance meeting should be on Wednesday, April 18th at the Lansdowne Borough at 7 p.m. For the ninth grade academy, the 3D scanning was also completed over spring break. Again, it will give us the most detailed information possible and help to reduce potential change orders in the future. Working on zoning design to submit to the borough. Preliminary discussions, I believe, just got scheduled, so information will go out to the design committee by tomorrow. Target for design completion is the end of May 2024 to be in compliance with the DOE grant, and we're still completing our bi-weekly meetings to refine the design. At East Lansdowne over spring break, classroom doors were installed. There was some window sills and louver combination replacements done, but that's still in progress. And also the new generator installation is still in progress. The 2 completed items in the middle were previously completed prior to spring break. On to our discussion for the Evans Gymnasium.
Bob, I want to just hold you there. I just want to, before we go on to the Evans discussion, wanted to see if there were any questions from members on the on the call this evening regarding any of the things that we went over. Okay. Not seeing anything. All right, Bob, please continue.
Okay, great. So as Jan had mentioned, after the construction is completed and the ninth grade academy becomes a middle school, programmatically it would be difficult for Evans to continue to use the gym at that building. So KCBA has provided 2 possible solutions for building a gym at Evans. The first one is a full-size gym, and the second one is an elementary size gym. So if we click the links, you can see the drawing here for the larger size gym. 50 by 84 would have a hallway off the kindergarten classrooms with some storage over here and some additional mechanical items. And the gym would be right here, which is next to the parking lot behind the back of the building and doesn't affect the playground. So with that, the total project cost would be approximately $5.8 million. Again, that's for the full-size gym. Any questions, I guess, on the design and or cost before I move on to the second option?
I'm sorry, what was the cost on this one?
About 5.8 million.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob, I think it would be easier to have questions if they saw a comparison between the two.
Sure. So the second option, again, you hallway off the kindergarten rooms, same amount of storage and mechanical space across the hall. However, the gym is 50 by 74 instead of 80. So slightly smaller. With an estimated project cost of about $4.9 million. So it's about a $900,000 difference for additional 10 feet in length.
Yes, Ms. Hoff.
Thank you, Mr. Tong. So what does that $900,000 get us? Does that get us, alternate where, our high schoolers can practice? Any bleachers? Like what would be, like, in that bigger, gym, can we hold like 2 gym classes or do stations? Remember, we just looked at some really cool gyms. How does that sort of, could we have volleyball games there? Like, what does that look like?
Sure. So I believe since the width is the same, I don't think that the difference in seating would be much. I believe the extra is just on the end of the court, so it gives a little bit more of like a runoff space to have more space for layups and things like that at a higher competitive level, whereas kids don't really need as much space because they're not running as fast and don't have as much chance of running through the baseline. As far as volleyball and items like that are concerned, I would have to follow up with KCBA to see if the 10 feet makes any difference in that realm. Based on the design, though, it doesn't look like there's space for bleachers.
So Bob, the larger of the two gyms have 2 rows of seating as opposed to the smaller gym with no seating. So the larger gym with the extra 900,000, I think, has the it adds seating plus the additional space. So if you look at that section where you have your cursor, on the other side it says 2 rows of seating, and if you look at the other build, there it does not have that.
Correct, no seating.
So if it were me, I would advocate for the larger with the 2 rows of seating for extra usage and for different things. It could be also a space that folks would want to use and they have seating. Also, if there are events for the school, you could hold a pep rally in the gym for the school. I would again advocate for the extra, $900,000 for that purpose. But again, that's just me. I would open the floor and have other opinions. Ms. Hoff.
Yeah, I tend to agree, Mr. Tong. I did want to make sure that because it triggered me when you talked about having events, that we have a place to store chairs, which is a common issue when we build these rooms. Oh, there you go. There's
Yep.
the chair, please. Thank you.
Again, so we would have to ask for dimensions on this to make sure that all the gym equipment plus chairs could fit. So that would be a part of the design process to make sure that that room is big enough.
Great.
Because I can see that as a graduation space or a move up ceremony, I'm sorry, for the elementary school.
Yep.
Yeah. Are there any other comments from the public regarding the 2 spaces? Just want to make sure everyone's heard on this because this is something that folks are going to have to, bear the cost of. We'll want to make sure we're making the right choice here. Again, the smaller space does not have seating included with 2 rows of benches, or bleachers, I'm sorry. And the larger space has 2 rows of bleachers. And again, I would advocate for that, but again, I'm deferring to the larger group on comments. Miss Ivory.
Hi, my apologies for being late. I did want to bring up something that we had talked about previously prior to, starting this process. Where are we with making sure we're all ADA compliant with the other schools before we did this sort of project? Because I know Bell Avenue was on our schedule prior, and I know I apologize that I'm late, so I'm bringing that up, but I know where are we adding Bell Avenue in this process to make sure they're ADA compliant?
So with Bell, we are trying to get a grant that has been applied for or being applied for, so that they can be ADA compliant. We just voted on it on Monday.
Okay, thank you. My
Or
apologies.
last Monday. Last Monday.
Yeah, I was out, so that's what I'm just trying to catch up. Thank you.
Yep.
I also think for clarity, we need to know that Evans won't have a gym when we move 6, 7, 8 into what's now 9th grade academy. So
Right, yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we were sticking to what we said, was making sure that we're ADA compliant before we put money into other areas to make sure Bell Avenue was taken care of. No, thank you.
Sure. Do we have any other comments? All right. No comments? I think that is all for this evening. We thank you all for your participation. Oh, wait, I have a hand. Ms. Thompson.
I don't see Miss Thompson's hand.
Your hand
raised.
went up and I don't know if she took it back down. All right. There was a hand, but I guess I missed it. All right, folks, have a great evening. Thank you all for coming out. See you next month.